We are now 5 wide. Presented by Quick Trip's Quality Gasoline Guarantee. It's just another way Quick Trip has you covered.
Ready to go, and we are locked and loaded with 4 wide. 4 wide. Armin is out today. Brian Noah is in. Brian Butch is in. The double Brian lineup. Pipe bomb behind the board. Hour number 2 of 10 today, boys. 2 of 10. Was it Brett Boone, Brian Noah, who went on the rant to the umpire in New York about my guys are effing savages in that box? One of the all-time great rants, because he was passionately
as national, national guys. Both you guys, national guys. Okay, all right.
Stop with this national stuff. Be a sports fan, okay? Stop being so provincially Wisconsin, Butchie, where your eyesight doesn't extend beyond the Mississippi River.
No, don't
okay?
throw Butchie in there. I see what's going on. Don't do that.
Okay. Well, you tend to be a bit provincial. You are Wisconsin, but there is stuff that happens outside of the state. It's okay to know about it, by the way. So yeah,
I do know about it. What do you want to know about national? What do you want to know? I'll fill you in. You tell me.
Don't worry about it. Pipe bomb is a savage. That's all I can say. Going to be here for 10 hours today, running the board for all these shows.
Arise is going to bat 400? Is that going to happen? The Cardinals, they still suck. That's great. What else do you want to know?
Now you're firing on your co-host right now. Okay. So Armin
firing a co-host?
Armin
never.
Yes. Armin Brian No has all these little cutesy phrases he loves to trot out from time to time, and it makes Armin who he is. And he often says when a player is injured, well, we won't know till we get him in the magnet, which is his cutesy way of talking about the MRI. Well, we won't know the extent of it till we get him in the magnet, I was, boys, in the magnet yesterday. Finally, for this prostate scan with contrast that I told you about a month ago, where I didn't bring my paperwork, and they said, yeah, we don't have you in the system because we still rely on paperwork, I guess.
Yeah. So how did that go?
Butchie,
first of all, was it still late?
Well,
was
okay.
It 8 p.m. one or not?
8 p.m., yes.
That's
took
a
about
great
30
time for an MRI.
Yeah, took about 30 minutes, and I thought it'd be a lot quicker because I really haven't. I think I had one other MRI once, and it was a long time ago. And I'm like, 30 minutes. And the guy says, oh, I've seen people in the magnet for up to 5.5 hours.
Zabe, so Blake obviously had to go every 3 months, has to go every 3 months. Now then we've kind of, with the news that we got last Wednesday or 2 Wednesdays ago, it might be able to go to 6 months, or will go to 6 months. Then we'll evaluate. Some things changed, whatever. That being said, with him, he's in there like 2 hours. Now he's got to be sedated because he's so young, but he's in the MRI for 2 hours.
Man, what a kid. I thought of that while I'm in there because it was not a big deal. They put little noise canceling headphones on because it's very loud. And some people are claustrophobic, so they don't like it being confined. Although I guess now they do open MRI where both ends of the tube are open. It used to be closed, I think, which caused some people to really kind of freak out. They have a stupid slideshow of supposedly soothing pictures. And I'm like, why don't you put cable on?
Yeah, what was it?
Like the beach, the mountains. Yeah, it was like a Corona commercial, Brian. No, except you're being bombarded with magnetic waves that are scanning your innards to try to detect things that shouldn't be there. Yeah. I did think, however, of kids, Butchie, and I thought of your child, and I thought of my daughter, who's on the autism spectrum, who does not like doctors. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how do texts like this do these kind of scans for kids who don't tolerate sitting still for 30 minutes at a time?
Yeah. The biggest thing. So now Blake, oh, I was, and Blake has to get sedated every time. So that's what makes it a little bit, just because he's too young. But
full sedation,
because he can't last that long. So it's a deal.
Okay.
Like it's a deal. But the first couple of times it wasn't as big of a deal because he didn't know. But this last time, me and my wife kind of got into hey, we're going to go to space. You're going to become an astronaut, because they put the mask over his face and he tastes like candy. So like, hey, you're going to go to space right now. And we did that before they took him to the room. We go, all right, we're going to count off 3, 2, 1, blast off. And then, he's gotten so much better, but I hate to say it, but we're tricking him every time. Like we're trying to create an environment where it's enjoyable for him. But this time, like I said, 2 weeks ago, we had Child Life at Children's Hospital, which is fantastic. If your child has to go through anything at Children's, make sure you ask for Child Life help. It's somebody that's going to be there to help guide a child to understand what's going on a little bit, bring some toys, distract them, all those things. But we as parents didn't necessarily know that always. So we asked for that. But little dude just took off right into the back room that they have at Children's, and he was great this time. And I think, like you said, it's all about tricking the kids, but it's a unique thing. It sucks. I mean, in general, it sucks. I mean, like you wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing fun about it.
No show. Have you ever been in the Magnet for anything? What for? If I may be so bold. Injuries. Okay. Injuries or other stuff. Got it.
Is it because you had another plate on it? Oh, I didn't know if you were playing Slayer in that weight room. Put another plate on it. Put another plate. And then all of a sudden the shoulder
skill lifted.
909, and you're calling him a meathead already.
Exactly.
Wouldn't be the first time this week. Probably won't be the last one.
The guy likes to stay fit, There's shame on him. Or you loaded your plate of food at a picnic so heavily that when you were carrying it, it actually separated your shoulder. That'd be the third story. Not as glamorous for sure, but that's another one you could use. So MRIs being the stock standard thing with sports injuries, Butchie, I mean, that's what, we're always waiting on the MRI. As I'm in there, I'm thinking, okay, this giant piece of medical machinery, this miracle that can see into your body, right? Without cutting you open, made by Philips Electronics, must cost, I don't even know. What do you think a full MRI machine costs? Any idea?
No clue.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars minimum, right?
Yeah.
Or at least.
And yet, as amazing as it is, it's still kind of primitive, right? Shouldn't they have an MRI that is utterly silent? Shouldn't they have an MRI that can scan you in 5 minutes or less for anything, right?
Am I wrong in
Where
are the advancements
it's both
here?
Amazing and primitive at the same time?
Yeah, that's totally true. Where are the advancements where it's like, neat? Why do we still have that?
Absolutely. By the way, MRIs machines can vary from $150,000 for a low field used machine to $3 million for a high-powered state-of-the-art machine. Like, how can there be such a range? You go 150,000 to $3 million. Like, there's no You're telling me that's ridiculous.
They said used, Butchie. So in other words, the used MRI you get from some Latvian field hospital. Who knows what results it's going to spit back? Oh, I'm sorry, you've got stage 6 tongue cancer. Oh, wait a minute. No, that was a mistake in the MRI. This is a used unit, It does throw errors out there.
I've been in a couple of what I think have been used MRIs overseas. So I kind of
I was going to say, you playing international ball.
I have been in a couple of them. Is this thing?
Did you ever come out and tell? Did you ever come out and tell the team, no, run that MRI again? I don't trust it.
No, I didn't, but I did get a lot of second opinions. I remember getting a couple of MRIs when I was in Japan, and my knee that I ruptured my patella tendon on had to get an MRI on, and I got the images, and I sent them back to our trainer Henry at Wisconsin. And he's looking at these things. He goes, "Yeah, kind of hard to tell, but based on what we can see," I was like, "You think?" I mean, this thing I thought I was going to walk out with another hand somewhere, for crying out loud. I'm like, this thing is not right. This is not normal at all.
By the way, what are some of your worst old man injuries? Not meaning, like the gruesome injuries when you were younger and playing ball, but like you slept wrong and you couldn't straighten your arm for 2 weeks? Or what's one of your worst old man injuries?
Oh, easily just waking up every day. It's a daily injury, the waking up. Right now, no, I've got something going on with my right quad or hamstring that I think is just from sitting in this expensive Herman Miller Aero X chair, which supposedly is the best ergonomic chair you can buy. But I sit so much, and they say sitting is the new smoking. It's terrible for you. My right hamstring is all jacked up. So maybe I'll just stand right now.
Man.
That's an old man injury for you right there. What about you? You're not even old yet, but have you had a typical old man injury?
I've had one at the top of the list. I was doing local radio, Butch.
Oh, look at
Good,
that.
locally sourced,
don't call me
organically
Butch.
fed radio.
I
Yeah.
used a national media hit on you one time. Heather just pounded you at the end of the show, and now we're gonna. One time I dropped the national guy, and we were talking about. Because I told you to explain yourself based on why you didn't
No, I
think
like
Bud
that,
should have got fired. And I said, explain yourself because he should have.
Yeah.
So, all right.
No, but I was sitting in a higher chair doing local radio, and I just like flexed my legs a little bit. You know, you're at a restaurant, like at a higher seat, and your legs kind of dangle. I just sort of flexed my legs, and I jacked up my calf. I was limping around for 2 weeks. That's a old man injury. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's a bad one right there. I do hate the counter height stools that are not full stool height and they're not on the ground. And if I'm at a restaurant, I never want to sit at a high top.
Wow.
Ever.
We're not going to get dinner.
Not a high top guy.
We're not going to get dinner a whole lot.
Well, but you're
that's
a
the only
high
one I
top
sit
for
in.
you is called a normal chair, Butchie.
Well, true.
You're 7 foot
not
tall.
that's not a lie. That's not a lie. You're right. You're right.
I don't want my feet dangling, and I don't want to have to worry. I think you're the same way. No, I don't want to have to worry about perching my feet on some railing under my chair.
I don't mind it. I really, even
don't
though I
mind it?
had the calf mishap, I don't mind it. I like the higher seats. It just had the one setback there. That's all.
How about eating outside? Do you guys enjoy eating outside when the weather
Absolutely.
permits?
Depends.
It's
I
gotta
like
be
it.
just perfect, doesn't it? To me,
Overall, I
I'm-
like it. But if the sun is just nailing me, no, thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that can ruin al fresco dining. It's got to
Wind.
be just
Why?
the right temperature.
Yeah.
Wind. Okay, think about it.
You
Butchie.
guys sound
Wind,
bougie as can
humidity.
be. For crying out loud, we live in Wisconsin. We got 3 months to be outside and enjoy this weather. This beautiful, a little bit more than that, maybe 4 or 5 months. But you're going to tell me, I don't want to eat outside because it's too windy.
It's a little too
It's
windy.
too sunny.
Yeah.
Look at you,
Yeah.
Dave. It's not like you're something great to look at, all right? You know what I mean? Like you don't have to worry about getting a sunburn. I mean, you're not Mr. Sexy over here, Mr. Beautiful. Like, so what? It's a little windy. Look at your pose right here, and I'm losing my mind. It's not like you're worried about spilling some ketchup on your shirt if the wind gets you. I mean, come on.
No, the point is, and this is where Brian, Noah, and I are in complete agreement. There's so many parameters that can kind of ruin your enjoyment of your meal because remember, you're sitting down to enjoy a meal, number one. Nice outdoor weather is just a bonus if you can add it without any complications. Temperature, humidity, sunlight, bugs, odors from the street also come into play,
Yeah.
and a bunch of other things.
And
Indoor
idiot people
environments are
that bring their
controlled.
dogs.
Oh, pipe bomb, you're anti-dog at outdoor places, huh?
Yeah, you can't bring a dog into a restaurant and you're sitting there trying to have a nice meal and you got some little flea catcher hanging out, begging you for your scraps. No, I don't play that, man.
That's so funny.
Dogs got to eat too. Lady and the Tramp. What about that? Great movie.
Yeah, but then people give me a side eye when I tell them that the dog's got to pay half my bill.
Have you been actually harassed by another dining patron's dog at a restaurant?
Oh, yeah.
Most
up in
of the
Door
restaurants
County.
I go to where people bring their dogs, the dogs are perfectly well behaved and they sit under the feet of their masters.
Now, all the yuppies that go up to Door County that insist on eating outside, they all have their dogs out there. It's ridiculous.
Pipe bomb, you're actually all right though, because up at Door County, like you said, it's all those Chicagoans that head out there, want to be bougie.
Oh, boy.
Let me take the puppy, and you can't enjoy. I actually kind of
Suffice
pipe
to
them
say,
out.
you don't have a dog pipe bomb.
No, I'm actually a cat guy.
Oh, well, that
Meow.
explains
Go ahead,
a lot
Brian,
right
no,
there.
Hey, man. Been a cat guy for 2 months, just cat sitting.
Welcome
been
to the
great.
family.
Yeah. I think ideally
Big-
I'd have a dog and a cat, but I love these suckers, man. They just came up and said hi while I'm talking to you guys on 5 Wide.
Oh yeah.
Just
Pipe
saying
bomb,
hi.
Pipe bomb, if you don't close out today with Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent, then something's definitely wrong. So just make sure you got that one queued up right there. Yeah, I've found that to me it doesn't bother me, but I'm a newfound dog lover. So I actually not only enjoy being around dogs, I want to pet people's dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Hey,
makes me weird. I guess
you're
that
a
makes me weird.
stranger dog better, huh?
Until they bite him on the hand,
Oh.
but that's all right.
I have a policy, Brian. No, pet
Yeah?
every dog. With
Pet every
permission.
dog. Do you ask
Pet every
permission or you
dog.
just go for it?
No, with permission. But
With
I have
permission.
a policy to pet every dog. It's good for the soul. It's good to connect with these beautiful creatures. And
What's
I
your
love
go-to
other people's
phrase?
dogs.
What's your go-to
I just
phrase
say,
while you're
"Oh."
petting them?
I say, because the building I'm in is very dog friendly. So I say, "Oh, who do we got here?" And they'll say the name of the dog. And then I'll say, and then I'll usually go down, crouch down, and give the back of my hand because that's the least, you don't want to put your fingers there for a dog
Correct.
to snip at it.
Lose it.
And normally they're very friendly, and then the dog will come up and you give him a rub, butchie, and you go, "That's a good boy or a good girl," and you feel your soul just replenish with that
Quick-
simple act.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or if you're
Until they
pipe
get you.
bomb, you just screw on your headphones, listening to cattle decapitation songs even louder.
Yeah.
And
But my goal
Can't
being
wait
a
to-
man is to pet every kitty. You guys might want to pet the dogs. I'd rather make the kitty purr. You know what I mean?
okay, Cat Scratch Fever. Is it Ted Nugent? Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
The great Motor City Madman, right? Ted Nugent.
right.
You're a
Yeah,
fan of him, right?
Yeah, he's all right. He's a little
Okay.
soft.
It's a little soft. How about that, Butchie? Ted Nugent is too soft for pipe bomb.
Yeah.
All right,
got a
enjoy the
point.
rest of the 9 hours on the board, my friend. Great job today closing out my game. Butchie and Brian Noe are next. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you on Monday.